Are we on record, dear? Okay, thank you. Okay, so basically today is a special day for us. We're in partnership with 7 Days of Rest, and we've been invited to be part of the World Interfaith Harmony Week with our water blessings. And so normally we meet and gather in community, live community on Zoom on the new moon. So this is a special treat for all of us to gather once again, and the powerful energy that Grandmother Moon has provided and the universe has provided to be with us. So what I'd like to begin is just to soften our hearts, our breath, deepen our grounding to Mother Earth, and open the field of resonance in the directions, and just really feel the water flowing both within our bodies and our spiritual nature as well. So as we gather today on this amazing full moon and eclipse to honor the water that sustains us as living beings here on planet Earth, let us slowly move now into our personal and collective heart space. Just gently breathing into that heart space, opening it, and allowing the waters to carry us gently into their full presence. And from within this calm and gentle cavern of love, let us move into the deeper essence of the primordial water from which we have all journeyed. Let us, from this deepened resonance, now honor the directions and all they encompass for their energies and presence of support with these beautiful words from the Four Winds Society. To the winds of the south, great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin, to walk softly on the earth. Teach us the beautiful way. To the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, protect our medicine space. Teach us the way of peace, to live impeccably. Show us the way beyond death. To the winds of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient ones, come and warm your hands by our fires. Whisper to us in the wind. We honor you who have come before us, and you who will come after us, our children's children. To the winds of the north, to the winds of the east, great eagle, condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Keep us under your wing. Show us the mountains we only dare to dream of. Teach us to fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit. Mother Earth, we've gathered for the healing of all your children, the stone people, the plant people, the four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlers, the finned, the furred, on the wicked ones, all our relations. Father, Son, Grandmother Moon, to the star nations, Great Spirit, you are, who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unnameable one, thank you for bringing us together. And allowing us to sing the song of life. May we also honor the presence of the angels and archangels and divas who continually assist us with loving kindness and grace. Praise and welcome also to the elementals who so tirelessly continue to greet us when we are lost in our own personal human thoughts and clearly show us the true magic of nature's reciprocity. Let us honor as well our greater ancestral families of the cetacean and bird tribes and our unique star families who continually gather at the waters to communicate with us. Yes, we are all water beings, and today we honor each other in a simple sharing of ceremony, blessing, and presence. Please know, dear ones, that you are also deeply welcomed and blessed by all who are receiving your precious heart light today. And just allow the waters to carry those messages from deep within our hearts, knowing that each of us are one drop, but together we are the ocean. Oh. And I welcome you all to be here as we celebrate in ceremony and joy and peacefulness. And this morning I was guided to get in touch with my inner child. So I'm going to be silly today. And it's perfectly fine to be children in this beautiful world of water. And remember, as we go through our ceremonies and talking, that when we were children, everything was perfect. And so it is. So today we have the lovely Pam Gerrand who's going to sing. We have Maya Shaw Gale who's going to speak, and Elizabeth, our beloved sister Elizabeth, who is going to do a water ceremony. And it's just a joy to be here with each of you and those of you who will see this from another space and time. But we want you all to know that you are invited to be with us on any of our journeys here at Loving Waters, as we so dearly embrace the water around the world. So with that, I give everybody an opportunity now to speak and just state your name, present yourself and your watershed. And looking at the crowd that's here, I'm sure everybody does know that. And if you don't, we'd be glad to find out for you. So with that, I'm going to hand this crystal talking stick around. So please grab a hold of that beautiful crystal and share what's coming up, bubbling up from your hearts.
Well, Charlie, I'm going to jump in. And I'm so excited to just see these beautiful faces. And this is Shelley Darling, and I'm in Sarasota. I'm the Sarasota Bay watershed, and excited to see my Florida sister Holly Roon and Roxanne joining us, and just so beautiful. And I just want to just take a moment before I pass the crystalline talking stick, just really honor the Loving Waters Council that have been holding this container, have been holding this container of love and inspiration, and really listening to the waters of how we can support the earth. And today where the focus is really rising in solidarity with Mother Earth, which here obviously includes the water. So for me, it's just having the opportunity to be in this area where it's warm and receptive. It's easy to be present. And I just want to presence myself and say thank you, and lovely to see everyone, and really happy to just feel this beautiful full moon energy. Last night I put out all my water, all my sacred water under the moon, and all my dowsing tools and all my crystals, and I could feel there was just this absolute mystical and magical presencing of this time. Yeah, a lot of people are going through chaos, but we hold each other, and that's the beauty of this rising in solidarity, that we're coming together in loving partnership and co-creation and stewardship. So I'm excited to see my brothers and sisters here, and I pass the crystalline talking stick.
Shelley, I will take the beautiful crystalline talking stick, and I would just share with everybody my crystal bowl with water and crystal in it that I also had out last night during the eclipse. And I just really want to thank all of you, Loving Waters Council, and all loving water guardians everywhere, and the ones who have joined us now and who will be listening later. And it's just such a encouragement to feel all the water conscious beings rising up to protect our waters. And I just wanted to start by honoring this special time and the moon herself, Grandmother Moon, who's in, the sun is in Aquarius now, but the moon is in Leo. And since we have this incredible supermoon, the third supermoon, it's like an exponential empowerment of the Leo energy. And of course, we know the moon goddess is always dancing with the waters are dancing with the moon, and remembering that as the moon affects the tides in the ocean, it's affecting the tides within us. And this particular, for me, Leo really holds the energy of the heart. It's like the king of hearts, the heart expression, the bringing out the feelings of the heart outward, expressing, living the heart place, and having courage of heart. It's the word itself is in French, courage means with heart. And so I feel that we're all, as a community in solidarity, being called to live in our hearts and to have courage of heart to face and embrace all the chaos that's going on. It's whether it's socio-political or climate, weather, we all know there's a lot of chaos now. And so it's a beautiful time to have this energy emphasized by the moon, and bringing that courage to us as community. And I think it's asking us to have the courage to see chaos as just an opening, seeing it as opening to change and an ultimate creativity. And I am living here in Southern California in the Santa Barbara coastal watershed, and we have been very challenged with chaos in the last 2 months. First of all, by the great wildfires, the Thomas wildfire, and a little bit of a respite after that, and then the waters came and brought floods and mudslides and so much destruction. And yet it has also brought people into connection and community, and that helping those of us that are working with the waters, trying to help people to embrace what happened as an opening to this connecting more deeply with each other. And it's spawned many, certainly interfaith groups have come together. We've had grief ceremonies and healing ceremonies and times of community healing, and it's brought people together. And I also feel that the water is teaching us that in order to open our hearts to gratitude and appreciation and pleasure and generosity, we have to first open the dammed river of grief, which, you know, we're all feeling collectively now. And so grief being that opening, and the water teaching us to flow and to allow the expression of grief together. So I was holding that incredible balance between the chaos and the creativity. And water is so beautiful in teaching us this. And I would just like to share, before I close, a poem that I've written that really speaks about this the creative magic of water. It's called Ode to Water. How is it that you go everywhere with no obstacles but for the human made? In your softness, you swirl and slip around the hard and staid. Stroke the stones as you pass, laughing at their stubbornness. Seek through cracks to find the depths where darkness reigns, and scatter your diamonds and sheets of light across seas and lakes and streams. Shape-shifting into ice, you remodel landscapes like a feng shui master. Move mountains and smooth out the hills. Carve continents into whole new shapes. Never afraid to fall, you trust in surrender. Cascade yourself from heights that would make me swoon, just for the joy of it. And day after day, dance a slow cha-cha with the moon. And when you grow tired of earthbound life, you find wings, float angelic across the sky, masquerading as clouds. Even go so high that you merge with the sun, survive its fiery furnace, who knows how. And best of all, you live in me as blood and breath and flesh. And miracle that it seems to be, you thus learned to walk and speak and sing. And water, you remember everything you've ever seen or touched, and bring those gifts to me so I can also know I am part of all in this whole vast sea, and that I too can trust in its seamless flow. So I honor the water for teaching us how to cooperate and co-create with nature, to not dominate and control, but to learn to work with her. And that is our lesson here in Santa Barbara coastal area now, is to learn how to dance together with the elements and with water in particular. So thank you, and I hold the crystal talking staff for whoever is next.
Hi.
Hi. I've never really made it to one of these in a virtual space with you all, because I'm usually in a circle with women whenever it is that you've been gathering on the Zoom. But my name is Holly Rowan. I live in Fort Myers, Florida. Hi, Shelley. I did not expect to be here today, but about 20 minutes ago, I found myself putting on my ceremonial repeal. I just set up an altar for my full moon group that's coming over here in an hour. You can kind of see it behind me here. And my watershed is the Caloosahatchee River Basin. I live on the Caloosahatchee River, and it flows out into the Gulf of Mexico. And the water that's flowing by me right now is really, really crying for our prayers. It flows, as Shelley knows, and I think Charlie knows about our situation here in Florida. It's flowing out of the Lake Okeechobee in the middle of our state through 2 rivers that were actually rerouted to be go in a straight line by the Army Corps of Engineers. And there's big agriculture and development, all of that bringing all their poisons out into our rivers in the Gulf. And so I feel very positive that I was drawn here to live on this river to do this work. And so I'm honored to connect with all of you and see your faces for the first time, most of you. But I have been leading sacred water ceremonies, usually once a month, on the Caloosahatchee River, up and down the river here, and sometimes on the Gulf. And I usually do it the first Saturday of the month in concert with Kristen Bauer, with her Sacred Water Tribe in Delray Beach. So we're all really connected. I am hearing our waters crying out for all of us to become even more connected in our prayer work, in our light work, to get to know each other in a more real way as we move forward, because these are the times we were made for. There's nothing I can say you all don't know. I just want to check in. And if I do leave this time together before it's over, it's only because women are about to arrive at my house, and I'm also stirring soup on the stove. So, but I have my altar behind me and all of our musical instruments, and there will be 13 of us tonight here singing and chanting the names of the Mother, and we will walk down to the river under her moon tonight. And I bring you all with me, so I'm honored. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. I'll pick up the talking stick, and I'd love to join your circle and make it 14 right now. It feels pulling me in there. Shelley's saying yes, me too. Well, maybe you can. I'm all the way in Chicago, in the middle of Midwest heartlands. The watershed is, the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. I live on the Fox River. I grew up on the Des Plaines River. There's all sorts of things that just came in the paper about Lake Michigan 2 days ago that it's the clearest it's ever been, yet it is not the best news. It's been cleaned out of a lot of the natural sources that make it a lake. And so there's more discovery to be made on all sides. There's also news that in Cape Town is running out of water as we speak. And they're actually giving it a date in April. So besides those things, last night I did the water ceremony a bit early because we had a art exhibit for 1 billion rising women across the planet. And for me, Mama Earth and the feminine and, is all intertwined, interwoven in man, woman, child, earth, being, tree, water, all of it. And that there has been a rape and a ravage in many, many ways. Last night was enormously I don't have the words that I could explain what it was like. I was one of the coordinators and I was still blown away. I had seen all the art and talked to all the artists before the night, and I was still blown away. The energy that was created in the space of the coming together, the field of the coming together, when all of our waters mingled and all of our tears mingled. It created something that is unspeakable healing, unspeakable
reality also. You just kind of like you're face to face with it, and there's nowhere to go, and everywhere you turn to sees it, and you see it in their eyes. And it's all the same, what we're talking about. So we did, I was with Dan Creeley, and we had some elders from the Ojibwe tribe, and we did a peace fire ceremony. And then, we blended it with the water ceremony. And this is my long red line, which is, it depicts the story of, whatever violence or sexual abuse I have been through. And I laid it down in front of the water altar last night in a very, very straight line, very neat, straight, and laid it down. And I laid it down. I laid down my story because I know it's not just mine. And we have enough scarves and stories to go entirely around the exterior of our library in our town. And so, thank you, Charlie. I felt that. This was at a college. We are partners with the college. So the college and the students, and you know the story. It was such a beautiful way. So I just want to show you a couple of things, and then I want to do one very special thing for and with you. So this past spring, I was beyond honored to lead a water ceremony with two of the Indigenous grandmothers present. And I asked them would you either want to just do it, or would you like to at least do it with me? And they agreed to do it with me. And so one sang down by the river that I cannot express the sound of her mingling with the trees and her voice with the water from Ancients. And the other sang at the fire when we came back up with the water. What I wanted to do was to contribute something unique, and going to what Maya was saying. So, it's the chaotic, it's the chaos, which we're all speaking of, but it's that creativity, and that's what I talked about last night, which the water that connects us is the truth. It's the binder of our creativity. So what we create, what we know in our heart and soul is possible and that we can envision, we create that, and the water connects all of our creation into making it happen, into producing it, into materializing it. So what I did for that blessing is I'm an artist. I work with earth pigments, and I wanted to express, the coming together, I wanted to honor the peace fire, which has been going for thousands of years at this college. And anyway, I'll hold it up. It's a color represents each color of skin in the world. And when I first did it, it was just lines of each color, straight. You can see where it's folded. It's on very awkward, just very simple piece of canvas, not even primed, just 100% organic cotton canvas. And what I did was I laid it out onto a handmade bowl, and we took the blessing water, and there were about 200 people, including the grandmothers who were sitting to my side, dipped in a feather that was a sacred feather, and let everyone take the water and use it as the medium to create peace between all of the peoples and all of the animals and all of the elements in earth that there is in the world. And each person, in my innocence, I dropped down on my knees and I just laid there and watched as each one just dropped down into being present with this piece. So this piece holds the energy of everyone that was there. And so I've been bringing it with me to all of the water ceremonies from now on. And I have, this is what I want to do for you right now. This is one of the sacred coals from a 1,500-year-old ceremony, peace fire, that's been kept at Northeastern for the past 30 years. All indigenous tribes have visited there and taken the coals and brought them back. This is a piece of that. I'm tying it to my story. And that's one thing. It's our story. The other is, in this bowl right here, I have sacred waters from all over the world. There's 20 sacred sites, including and also Lourdes, St. Bridget's Well, Portugal, Fatima, Kitchitikipi. I also have Kitchitikipi sand from the center of the Kitchitikipi, and it was taken ceremoniously from beneath the river bottom. Lake Michigan from the worldwide simultaneous water blessing that Charlie and Shelley and I were a part of, as well as Lake Michigan, the Sacred Heart Center. And this I was given last night by Dan, and this is multivite. And multivite oil comes from a meteor. Are you aware? I see you, Holly. You're like, you know where this is. So this comes from the Czech Republic, actually, from the Moldau River Valley. And multivite is a product of the meteor collision with the Earth. And this has been ceremoniously, sacredly held for hundreds of years. And, you know, the gifts that come to me are meant for all of you. This right here, multivite, when it hits water, I'm going to pour it into a clear glass, part of this water, into a clear glass, because when it hits the water, you actually see emotion. You'll also see part of the coals and part of the tobacco now in this water. Okay, and this is to release trauma. So I'd love you to put your hands to your hearts, feeling the water pumping through. But keep your eyes open, even though the tendency is to close, because I just want you to see what happens. Can you see that? You probably can't see that, right? I can't see it on the screen either. But it explodes like a tiny little atom bomb. But the best atom bomb of all, dispersing all of the trauma through all of the connected waters, through us and the whole entire world. Sending my love. And passing the talking stick as well, or crystal.
So Elizabeth, thank you all for fairly spontaneously coming together as we raise ourselves in solidarity for Mother Earth. And you know, we call her Mother Earth because she is the nurturer. She nurtures us all life. I would like us all to take a deep breath here again. 3 deep cleansing breaths, and really ground into that breath. Feel the water move through your body as you breathe. And recognize that water has birthed Gaia. Gaia, Earth, All life on earth is a child of water. Water has come first and birthed life. When we gather in these ceremonies, whether on our own watershed or virtually with each other here in this space that Loving Waters is creating and generating for our healing, we're coming to bless the water. Yet even more than that, we're coming to open ourselves receptively to receive the blessing of water and remember our sacred relationship with her, so that we can feel the water in our bodies as sacred. And remember that water is our first medicine. Water is always healing the earth. She would heal herself of the state we as humans, our species, have inflicted upon her if we would just get out of her way. She would heal every watershed and bring it back to original blueprint, to purity. Back to thriving, vital, nurturing. I have here my water bowl I share with you. And I have in here a beautiful water spirit. You see her? This reminds me of the intelligence. I have, oh, look, I have a talking stick. Look what I found. I love your inner child, Charlie. I'm going to include my inner child today. The consciousness of water. We don't have consciousness because we're human. We have consciousness because we are water. No water, no consciousness on earth. No water, no breath. No water, no trees. No water, no us. No water, no life. And what species, excuse my language, but what species shits in her water that puts such foul energy into the source that nurtures us? So rising in solidarity with Mother Earth is rising in solidarity with Grandmother Water. And Loving Waters, we encourage every ceremony, every prayer to include water, because it is this consciousness that links us. It is our common bond. The water in my bowl is about going on 8, still 7, I think, but 7 or 8 years of water blessings, starting from Grandmother Agnes of the 13 Indigenous grandmothers. She started me on being a water guardian in a really intentional, conscious way. So I want to really honor the lineage that brought us each here, the impulse to listen and to open to the consciousness and the intelligence and the wisdom of water. And even though none of us really intentionally thought of it, but this is opening and awakening the consciousness of the feminine. And so I want us all to really just take a moment. Feel the water in your eyes. Feel the water in your mouth. Feel the sweat of your palms. Feel the water you breathe. For the atmosphere is only the ocean rarefied. I'm going to ring my miracle bells. And I would ask our host to unmute everybody. And invite everyone to put in a tone, imagining ourselves to be whales. Everybody can unmute themselves. And just start our whale core. Our whale core.
That's a tone.
And
Whales
give
have tails.
of gratitude. Ready? Listening to meditations, they're listening to us all. They hear us. Hearts, they're connected to our hearts, and they know that our hearts need to be awakened for their survival. Thank you. Sound is so important to us. So sing to her.
Okay, I
And
will.
Sound tickles the water.
it does. It ripples the water.
Grandmother Mary Lyons told me last year in a water ceremony that I needed to get a lot more playful and really toss the water around a lot. I'm so serious when I'm
And
pouring.
who's
I'm
playful than
feeling
both?
that with us. To really let her play. To let her play. I'm loving this.
And I know we have Pam Gerrand here. And I heard rumor that you have a
I just couldn't even decide. I have so many water songs. As Shelley and I came together, I've decided to sing River of Dreams. I know you made a beautiful, beautiful thank you video with Pray Rain, which was so moving. I feel so deeply blessed to be a part of this group and of the consciousness, the holy nature of this circle. It's like I've been reacquainted with my own life force, my lifeblood, the connection of the sister and brotherhood of the water. 10 years ago, I was part of many sacred water ceremonies and concerts, and in Southampton, in Canada, Lake Huron. I'm on my watershed in Stratford, Ontario is Lake Victoria that weaves into the Avon River. And as we've been talking about the rivers and the oceans and the constellations within our own hearts of creativity, meeting the chaos and the challenges. And one thing I have to say that since I feel like re-immersed in the sanctity of appreciating water every day. I always have, but it's reignited my appreciation that every shower that I take is a baptism. Every sip of water that I take is a nourishing prayer of appreciation. I'm so awakened in this group to the great and holy power of our intentions and of the energy that's behind every one of your hearts and your missions and your circles, and you sitting out in nature, Elizabeth. Every time we see you there, on the Yuba River, and being with Shelley in Florida last week. We went kayaking in Sarasota Bay, and Shelley's got such a great, playful inner child, and she kept saying, call the dolphins, call the dolphins. So I called the dolphins, and didn't I see one? Right in front of our kayak. And it was enough to make me hunger for that sight again and again and again and again, and knowing as a metaphor, they're always there. They're there, undulating under the water. They're always playing. They're always sounding and weaving their magic. We, as the blind humans, just, waiting for that magic. But I'm reminded that that's what our life is now. Just beneath the surface of this river where they're all of it, the contrast, the complexity, the challenges, the chaos, the grief, the pain. There is also this incredibly beautiful interconnected web of life where we are all of it. So I raise my glass to you in honor and celebration and deep joy and gratitude. And I just have to play a bit of the track to get my note. Even a rock can crumble, even the mightiest oak can give way. You've always been the strong one. You are my rock, my oak, my way. I can see that you're crying, even though the tears never fall. I can feel your sorrow. I can feel the weight of it all. Take my hand, and we will stand in the river of our dreams. The river may be frozen, but far below the water still flows, bending, ever yielding, is the only way that it knows. So let me take you dreaming. We'll leave the weight of worry behind. Feel the sweet surrender. Feel the sweet surrender flowing as the river unwinds. So take my hand, and we will stand in the river of our dreams. Water wash away the tears in the river of our dreams. Let the river set you free. In the river you will see. I will hold you till time stands still in the river of our dreams. Come on and dream with me, and we will let go the tears. We will let go our fears. Standing in this river, flowing, carrying Dreams come with me. Water, carry me. Mother, you have got us in our bloodstream. In the river dreams. Woo! Water, we love you. Water, we bless you. Thank you. Thank you. May you feel our prayers. May the rain that falls upon this earth carry the sweat of our tears, of our prayers, the holiness of the work of the women, of the sacred guardians and the men who know too that this is our lifeblood together. This is our deep communion. We came for these times. Let us be baptized in the joy of knowing that we are the mermaids that we came for. We've been waiting for. We are the ones. Thank you. I love you. Bless you. Feel the wave. Feel the wave. And I am complete. Oh, and I do have my crystal too. So I pass it with much love and gratitude.
Hi, this is Barb, and Shanti Hart is right here, and we're at in Chicago, the watershed of Lake Michigan, beautiful, beautiful Lake Michigan, and I don't have anything like you guys are giving. I just have my love, and this morning I wasn't able to sleep, so I woke up about 3:30 and I turned on Gaia TV and I watched The Secret of Water, and great movie, and I think I had seen it before, but I don't know, but I do know that everything that I heard again just reinforced how I'm changing my life and the way I look at things and the way I thank water constantly. And one of the reasons I'm still in Chicago is because of Lake Michigan and how beautiful it is. I've been kind of drawn to Colorado, but there's no water. So I'm here and with all of you, and thank you so much for everything you teach me, and I love you. I'm complete.
Hi, this is Shanti Hart, and Barb is so funny because the movie that we made for the full moon, the new moon of the first day of the year, the first full moon of this month, was all her. She posts beautiful photos of the lake in all kinds of weather, and she does a lot, and I am grateful that she supports all of our, we're going out after this to Lake Michigan, and this is what we use to run down and scoop up ice, and whatever we find, we just grab it, and if it's frozen, we'll thaw it out. Oh, I think there's some liquid today, so I think we can actually do a whole ceremony, and it's up to like 40 or no, maybe 35. But anyway, it's balmy.
It's balmy.
It's balmy, so we'll be fine. And I did want to share something with you. You've all shared your sorrows and pains that expressed so beautifully through water and the watersheds, and and Gaia's sufferings that we're all committed to. We're here to heal that. And last fall, I did a 3-month shamanic journeying workshop. It was extended over 3 months, and I would just like to share just a little bit. Some of you have heard it, but I'd like to share it again because I was wanting to know what to share today, and he came back and he said, "Tell them about me, because I'm ready to be a part of all of this, and it's a good time." So as I went into the journey, I began the journey, and I descended down some steps in the side of a mountain, in the mountain, and just kept going deeper and deeper. The guide was holding a flame ahead of me so that I could see. And when I reached the bottom of the stairwell into this giant open cavernous space, was all crystalline walls, and there was a beautiful flowing stream moving smoothly but swiftly. And I saw this tall figure standing ahead of me with their back to me, but I was drawn to walk towards them, and he turned around as I neared, and he said, "I'm Brother Two Streams, and I've called you here because I know you're water guardian, and I want you to be Sister Two Streams and go tell everyone that I'm here guarding all of the original matrix of water that was ever created. The pristine form exists. And even though there's been a lot happening up there, damaging your source level on many layers, the still original divine purity exists, and you can tap back into it again. And when you're doing your ceremonies and you're doing your healings, call me up to help you. And when you're contributing your ceremonial waters each month, allow me to bring a drop of the pristine purity to help the healing. And it's time, and we're ready. And so it is. Thank you. I'm complete.
So we want to give a chance for the people that are on the phone to share as well. Kathy and Roxanne, if you feel that you want to jump in. Holly, we love you. We are with you. Thank you for bringing your absolutely gorgeous, beautiful sunrise soul. That's all here. The sunrise soul.
Thank you. I will come be with you virtually when I can, but my prayers have been with you ongoing.
Yeah, just send us photos. Yeah, we love them.
I'll send more photos. I will, of our beautiful river. I'm walking right out to it now because some women are walking up here.
Okay, beautiful.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Water is life.
So I'm going to unmute Kathy and Roxanne if you feel that you want to jump in at this point and bring your spring waters.
Thank you. This is Roxanne.
Hey.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, water. Thank you, friends of water, sisters and brothers in kind, for your poetry, your song, your inspiration, your intentions, your stewardship and guidance, support, and your inner children. I'm here just less than 2 miles from the Lake Choyas watershed. the oldest watershed in San Diego. And I am reminded through this call of how much I just love water. I've been taking care of a new kitten for a month, so I haven't been able to go right to our watershed for a walk in all this time, and the time is now. I can feel it. Just been so gratefully inspired with the posts on social media from each of you, and from the times we've shared in circles, and for the gifts of ceremony with you and from you. It continues to be a part of my practice to remember the resonance with you when I can. I am also humbled and weeping in the times of grief that we've all spoken to. I've been helping the third wife now who's lost a husband in about as many months. So tears have been the water I've been closest with. And each one of them is feeling moved to their next service, their next heart work. And I know there's a gathering I'm being called to over the equinox in Santa Cruz with some friends from all over the country. So I'm inspired today. Thank you so much. I love you. I know most of you on this call. I love you. I thank you. Aho, I am complete.
Kathy, do you want to dive in? Oh, you're muting and I'm unmuting. All right. She's just listening from the waters of her heart. Kathleen, are you still there? Okay. Well, I'm going to share a little bit more because in the beginning I just, this is Shelley, and I'm holding these two beautiful crystals that have been in the water. And I'm holding them because they represent the divine masculine and the divine feminine. One is, this crystal that I'm holding, this totally straight one is from Machu Picchu, and the other is from Lake Titicaca, the garden of the gods, the gateway of the gods. And I really feel like that's where the waters are speaking within this call. And for me, this communion of consciousness that is touching each and every one of us here today through the whale songs and Pamela's song, and each one sharing their love and beautiful stories, and Maya in Carpinteria and near Montecito, where those floods just totally were devastating to so many. And Kathleen's phenomenal relationship with the water and the fire and the art. There's so much here. And I feel that really in my heart. I feel, in this World Interfaith Harmony Week and this consciousness of rising in solidarity with Mother Earth, is that this consciousness of interconnectivity. And I noticed that one word was really showing up for me today as I was going back into the Interfaith Harmony Week. I really want to get a sense of, so what is going on there? And that it was started, I don't remember the man's name, but it was started with an idea through the UN, and it's really sponsored by the UN and the Compassion Games, and the playfulness that we're experiencing here, really bringing in the children. And that's really part of what I want to bring in, these womb waters, these cherishing womb waters that are the interplay of we could say the anima and the animus, the dark womb waters, and the light, the masculine and feminine, that seeding. My daughter had maybe I should be saying this, but yesterday she just did her first, I think it's called IUI, where you find out how these eggs and sperms are interplaying, and are they strong and healthy, and there's so much going on in the world. And these womb waters, these cherishing womb waters that birth our consciousness, that birth our children, are really vital. We're coming down to that. I love that, holding the matrix of the divine blueprint of water. This is the essence, these cherishing womb waters. It's really where we've all come from. And even Osho talks about that. Even he was believing that even Jesus, there was a man and a woman involved here. We can not get into that mindful thought about it, but just a sense that we are, and there was one other word that they were talking about. They were talking about tolerance between people of all faith, emotional, spiritual, physical tolerance, and really promoting this relationship of love. And I really feel like that's the essence of Loving Waters. It's just come to this oasis and be in the frequency of love, the full cherishing waters, just that's what this is. It's, it takes different forms, and just really happy to be in this divine harmonic place with everyone here. I'm really touched. And I'll just share that last night, it's interesting. I loved that Kathleen was holding up those newspapers, Michigan, and what's going on in Africa. And in Cape Town, I have someone who's waiting to talk, who's from Cape Town today. And last night, I spent till like 3 a.m. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I was totally tuned into the Murray-Darling Basin in Australia. This like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. It's like kind of like the Mississippi. It's huge river basin that's feeding everyone all the way to the Southern Ocean. And was watching these Aboriginals, like, they decided they had to come together in 2010, I believe, and they've been coming together ever since, dancing on the sand of where the Murray-Darling Basin empties out into the shore, because they know that this is the mother's body. If that basin gets compounded at the very end through through those channels, then it gets stuck all the way back. And if it gets stuck all the way up towards the source, and they're having this experience, this huge river basin, and it's not just about the dams, it's about the irrigation and how, so much is going on in our world. But it's how, for me, it's really how to soften and be present and receive. Like, to me, I was really excited today to not be hosting this call, so I could just receive, really receive each one of you and these waters that are talking, so I'm just really grateful. And this, my bottle holds all the Loving Waters, cherishing waters that have been blessed, and also holding the essence of the origin of Loving Waters. Really, it began. It really seemed to take root at the CCC in Colorado, and believe me, Colorado does have water. It's got a lot of rushing water. We remember the floods there a few years ago. So I'm just really grateful, and we're holding the whole here. We are, I love Julie's been talking about holons. We're holons within the whole. And as we're holding it here, we're holding the whole planet, And I love the voice of her song coming through. So with that, I'm going to pass these coming together, crystalline talking, yummy sticks, and crystals and pass it over to Kathleen. And it's all yours, love.
Thank you, Shelley. So we're ready for our closing? Or no? No.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what. Okay, I'm not even looking at a clock or anything, and I don't want to close. But no. Let's see. Passing it to me again, and what it must mean I have something. Okay. I do have one thing I'd like to read, actually, if I could, and it's called The Ripple Effect. Do you want to be a positive influence in the world? First, get your own life in order. Ground yourself in the single principle so that your behavior is wholesome and effective. If you do that, you will earn respect and be a powerful influence. Your behavior influences others through a ripple effect of the water. A ripple effect works because everyone influences everyone else. Powerful people are powerful influences. If your life works, you influence your family. If your family works, your family influences the community. If your community works, your community influences the nation. If your nation works, your nation influences the world. If your world works, the ripple effect spreads throughout the cosmos. Remember that your influence begins with you and ripples outward. So be sure that your influence is both potent and wholesome. How do I know that this works? All growth spreads outward from a fertile and potent nucleus. You are a nucleus. It's by John Hyder, The Tao of Leadership. So I was thinking of reading that earlier, and I decided not to, and you called me back for it. So there you go.
Well, beautiful. And I think for the last 10 minutes or so, a beautiful way to kind of open it up back to Elizabeth, but I just wanted to allow her to share, and then I'm going to just share a little bit about Loving Waters, and then Pamela, if you would, it would be beautiful just to end in song as we leave without giving a lot of notifications or anything. So if you would be willing to do that, that'd be so beautiful. And Maya is going off with to do a water blessing in Santa Barbara, and we totally, we all are with you, because Santa Barbara and what's happened there, and there's a lot of trauma and love and connection and community coming together around that. So, yes.
Yes, our focus today is going to be on restoring the balance here and healing the community. So, yes. So I love you all. Blessings. Love you, water. Love you, water guardians and council. And until the next time.
Really want to honor everybody that is gathering on their shed today. I tried to get there, but didn't quite make it. But we have many people that aren't here on this call because they're on the shores of their water, putting their toes where they belong. And grandmother Abril is there in ceremony, and there's many others, Jim, and so many others that are just there doing what's being called for. One thing I sat and sorry, a hawk just flew by. And we've got the most amazing clouds here today. They're like little fluffy down clouds. You can kind of see them behind me. I got up at 3:30. That seems to be the hour of and watched the eclipse. And here on the West Coast, we were blessed to be able to see the full eclipse. And got in a sleeping bag and completely covered up, and sat and watched most of the whole thing. And it was just amazing to be able to really see the presence of the earth. That's when the earth and the moon are in the dance of a lunar eclipse, it is really when the earth gets to see herself. She sees her own reflection. And I really felt and was feeling in like, is the earth showing up as the same size on the moon? No, it's bigger. You know, the earth is much big, you know, you can feel her mass, understanding how big the moon is, and yet the earth, it's not an equal reflection. She's bigger. Her circle is bigger against the moon, and that's the first time I've ever seen that in an eclipse. It was really powerful. And just really offering my prayers to her and to my watershed. I'm in the, I didn't say it before, but I'm in the South Yuba watershed, and this water here in this river, in this tributary, which runs into the Feather, which runs into the Sacramento, which runs into the Delta, which runs into the San Francisco Bay, which runs into the Pacific Ocean, is running through veins of gold. This is the heart of the gold country. This is where huge amounts of gold were extracted. And this river runs through these veins of gold. And so it's very intelligent, very potent. And everybody that comes here recognizes it. It's a specific kind of teal turquoise color and very clean, coming from the High Sierra snows. And I just really want to recognize her and honor her as one of my legacies. And Grandmother Agnes came, and this is when we started, and she did a water blessing there. And I had the privilege and the blessing to live on her shores for 7 years on and off, and would go there several times a day and just listen to her and listen to her song and listen to her voice. And so much of the water wisdom that I'm now doing my best to embody came from those sessions with her. And so we tend to get so busy in our daily lives that I really want to encourage all of us to just go sit by the water and really connect, feel her, touch her, listen to her, sing with her, you know, understand her colors and be her and breathe her. And so that's really something I want us all to impart. And I feel what she's told me is, again, appealing to our hearts as a species for our own survival, to remember that sacred relationship. We already know it. It's already in us. And to remember that. And to talk about it with other people. And when we do ceremony, include the element of water and honor her. And we will reach critical mass as a species, remembering that sacred relationship with our one intelligent, loving, living source water. And all that ails us as a species, that grief that we're all carrying, will be healed. Our tears, our water being released to heal the grief and the pain, it'll take care of itself. And to me, that's what these ceremonies are. And so the more we do this, the more we share with others, the more we, you know, just in a conversation in the coffee shop, you know, reminding people to thank their coffee, you know. And Pamela said something, which is a Gandhi quote, that we are the ones we've been waiting for. And I would like us to expand that a little bit more and recognize that we are the ones that our great-grandchildren are waiting for. Time is now. Time is now. And we're feeling that. We're feeling that in ourselves. I can feel it tingling in me. I love you all. Thank you for playing with us.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Whew, let's take a big wet breath with that one. And so, just a little bit about Loving Waters, and we invite you to come and play with us on, usually we're doing this on the new moon, and really essentially this is it. We're just in ceremony, sharing our waters, having fun, connecting and breathing in this water as life. And then on the full moons locally, we invite and we support. So part of the new moon call is to support you to do those local water blessings on the full moon, and to build courage. We've been talking about courage today, to like go out to a public place and create a water ceremony and let people get curious. You know, this is how do we meet the mainstream, right? The mainstream is we have to be a little courageous. So in Loving Waters, we're here to support that and support you. And so we have a brochure that you can take with you. You can download on the website. And if you have songs and poems, please send them in. Today even I captured a couple, and so we want to put them up on the website for each, as we share each other's. We are weaving this our waters together, the spirit of water through our songs, through our poems, all of that. So that's enough with that. And so I want to invite everyone, as Pamela is going to sing, to get your water bowl or your cup of water or your, you know, just a bottle of water, whatever works for you. And I'll turn around and get some Ponamu in this one, and now the crystals are out of it. And to just, before Pamela sings, just let's just share that very simple prayer that she brought to us again, which is just simply, water, I love you. Water, I thank you. Water, I respect you. And it just sounds better if we just do it with ourselves, and just saying that 3 times and sending those prayers directly to the water. So just have a moment of silence. And we just see these prayers connecting with all rivers, the one ocean, in gratitude and love and peace. And with that, we'll have Pamela share, and then we can all open our mics and in deep appreciation, just send that love to each other and to our circles of connection, our family of families, all nations, all relations. Pamela, you need to unmute yourself.
Before I do this short chant song, a poem came to me in honor of this super full moon. I saw the golden orb of the amber moon descending into the turquoise blue of the waters. This was November of 2016, and these words came to me, and I offer them in honor of this potent day. Beneath this amber moon, cast your woes out on rippling waters, like a holy offering. Golden crumbs of ego ash, sparks of bright agony, forged from wars of will, eye to eye, tongue to tongue. Hungering for closeness, we push away from the shore of our safe harbor, our North Star of knowing who we are together. The waves of soul love bring us back and back to each other. We see each other's sorrow. We see each other's scars, each one earned in the belly of the whale. First we thrash, then we wail, then we lay spent and glistening with the sweat of pure connection. Bodies become the ocean. Tears become the rain. The moon holds us tenderly, reminding us that we have never left this love. It waits, floating beneath the surface of the chaos, the turmoil, the disconnection. It whispers, come now. Set your boat afloat beneath this amber moon. Feel the waves carrying you into this swoon. Love remembers the way home. The sirens sing you back into the belly of the whale, of pure amber and holy water. Evening arise, spirit come. Sun goes down when the day is done. Mother Earth awakens me with the heartbeat of the sea. Evening arise, spirit come. Sun goes down and the day is done. Mother Earth awakens me with the heartbeat of the sea. Om Shanti Om, water is our home. Om Shanti Om, water is our home. This is a simple chant. Om, the sound of the earth, the primordial sound of Om. Shanti, deep dynamic peace. Water is our home. If you feel called to sing, sing with me. Om Shanti Om, water is our home. Om Shanti Om, water is our home. And unmute yourself. Om Shanti. Yes, Shelley, unmute yourself. Water is our home. Om Shanti Om, 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 water is our home. Feel that place of home and connection and compassion in your own heart, circulating your lifeblood. Feel the mother in your own heart. Feel this love that we are, that connects us, heart to heart, river to river, ocean to ocean, in deep and joyful devotion. Om Shanti Om, the water is our home. The womb wisdom carries us. Thank you. Namaste. A deep bow. Mhm.
So thank you everyone to show up. You can stay on for a minute. I'm going to take us off record, and thank you to everyone who's will be watching this, and you can find out more by going to lovingwaters.life, www.lovingwaters.life, or come join us on Facebook, Loving Waters, and bring your song, the song of your heart. So thank you.